Hey everybody, it's Emily at Arg Schooling, and today I'm here with a September book haul. I bought books this month, surprise, surprise, and I thought it'd be fun to show you what I got. So at the very beginning of the month, and actually it might have been August, the very end of August, I can't remember now, Barnes & Noble was doing their book haul sale. It was they had a table full of stuff that was 50% off, and how can I not go get books when there's a sale like that? So I had to go and buy some things. And of course I bought more than just the sale books, but one of the things I got I was pretty excited about. It's really cool. And that is Percy Jackson's Greek Heroes. I actually already own this book. I have a copy that I bought years ago for my daughter because she's really into mythology and she liked the Percy Jackson books. And it's a cool book. It's myths, but it's told in like the Percy Jackson voice. And like he's telling the mythology, I think. And there's pictures. I'm trying to find a picture. And of course, when I'm flipping, I can't find one. Oh, here we go. And it's beautifully illustrated as well. But the reason I bought a second copy was because this one happens to have been signed by both Rick Riordan and the illustrator John Rocco. And it was just sitting there in the bargain books, signed. So, like, of course we had to buy that. So now, of course, I have two copies. I'll probably unhaul the other copy because I don't need two of these. Also, it's huge and heavy and, like, there's only so much space. Also, while we were there, my daughter, my youngest daughter, who is still obsessed with Hamilton, had to have two new Hamilton books. So I have two of these. This one was in the bargain section, and it's a very nice book. It's beautiful. It's got some gorgeous art in it, and it's just a little biography about Alexander Hamilton. And mostly I liked it for the artwork. So it's a little over her head, because it's not geared at children, but it is a very pretty biography, and it was in the bargain section. And then, because I thought she would like something a little bit more her age level, I picked up this book, which is Alexander Hamilton, Heroes of History. And this one is a little bit younger. Again, it's nice, it has a lot of artwork in it. Two new Hamilton books, because, you know, you can never have too many. And then we also picked up this. We actually already have a very nice copy of Dracula that's hardcover with the beautiful spine, and anyway, now we have two. This is also Dracula, and it's one of their Barnes & Noble classic editions. I think these books are super pretty. I like having them on my bookshelves, and this is one of my husband's favorite books, and so now we have this copy to add to our collection. And while we were there, I also picked up two graphic novels. This one my daughter picked because she saw it and her sister was like, oh yeah, you'd really like this book. And so I'm like, do we really need this? But yes, apparently we do. This is The Complete Cheese Sweet Home. And this is I think it's manga, but it's not backwards like manga usually is, but it's just this cutesy little comic series about a cat. And it is really cute. And she wanted it, and she's willing to read it herself, so I was like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? I also picked this one up because I just couldn't pass it up. It looked so interesting, and I love things like this. This is Illegal by Ian Colfer and Andrew Donkin. And this is a graphic novel about immigrants fleeing Ghana and all about how they manage to get from point A to point B. And it's beautifully illustrated. So I'm kind of excited about this. I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, but I want to read it with my daughter. And then I did, of course, buy some things off the sale table. Two of them I believe my daughter has. She's at college. She took the books with her, so I don't remember what we bought. I don't remember what she got, but she got two books off the sale table, and I got three. I have The List by Patricia Ford, and this just sounded interesting. And very like a very compelling read. This is a sort of dystopian story about words. It kind of sounds a little bit like The Giver, in that there's a very limited vocabulary in this world. People are only allowed to use something like 500 words, and there's one person that knows all the words, and they're called the wordsmith, and I loved The Giver so much, and it sounds so similar to that, but also so different, and I love the idea of limiting words and how that affects how you think of things and how you can explain, and I don't know, it just sounded really interesting to me, and it's middle grade, so I'm really excited to read this, and I'm probably going to do this one as a read aloud. I also picked up Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. This is one that I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I still haven't read Night Film. I haven't bought it or anything. It's on my radar to read at some point because I know everyone raves about how great it is. But I went ahead and picked this up since it was only, I don't know what it was, but it was 50% off, so I couldn't pass it up. I actually don't know a ton about what it's about. It is a thriller, but it's young adult, and I believe it's some sort of a murder mystery. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to picking it up. And the last book I picked up off the bargain table was Endling, Book 1, The Last by Katherine Applegate. I have enjoyed some of her other books, and when I saw this one on the 50% off table, I went ahead and picked it up. My daughter had noticed it and thought it looked really cute, and it does look very cute. We enjoy animal stories, and this looks like it's a fantasy about talking animals, so that's always one of our favorite things. It looks really cute. I don't know a lot about it, but it is Katherine Applegate, so I'm expecting it to be well written. So that's what we picked up at Barnes & Noble during their sale. And I actually only bought 2 other books. No, that's not true. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Yeah, so I actually only bought about 6 other books this month. But then I still have a whole huge pile here of things that I didn't necessarily buy, but I acquired. So, the books that I did buy, I picked up Abina and the Important Men, A Graphic History by Trevor R. Getz and Liz Clark. And I got this with the possibility of adding it for our graphic novel comics as literature, literary analysis thing we're doing this semester with my twins, but I don't know if we're going to get to it or not. But I really want to read it. This is a little known micro history kind of a story about an event that happened, and it's based on the court transcripts from 1876 about this woman Abina's story, and was wrongfully enslaved. I believe she was a free woman, but somehow she ended up getting enslaved. That's kind of all I know about this right now, and it sounds really interesting, and I also really appreciate that this book is actually, like, half of it is the comic, and then the other half is some of the transcript from the court case, and it's like a history book. There's a whole, like, half of the book is actually just history, and I found that really interesting, and I really want to read this. We went to a Comic-Con at the beginning of the month, and I actually was very well behaved. I didn't buy hardly anything. That rarely happens. But I did pick up something for my youngest. And that is a cute little comic. We met the author and illustrator at their table, and I just thought this was really cute. This is Eplis, and it's by Emily and Jeremy Druin, and it just looked really cute. We bought the first edition, or the first volume, I mean. It's just really cute, bright illustrations, and I appreciate when I find them, children's comics that have, like, nice big print. It just makes it so much easier for a beginning reader to read it easily, you know? Like, a lot of comics have that teeny tiny font, and so I get excited when I find that. And we also picked up the activity book that they put together to go with it. It's mostly just a coloring book of the different characters from the comic. And yeah, so you can color your own. And I pre-ordered a book this month, and I was very excited to get it. I saw that Hank Green had a book coming out. I was like, yeah, okay, I have to give that a go, because I had to. So I pre-ordered An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I hope his books appeal to me more than John's do. And I don't actually know a ton about this besides that it has to do with, I think, a YouTuber and how their life blows up after a video goes viral. I think. I might be getting that wrong, but I think that's what it's about. And I just thought it sounded really intriguing. The premise caught my eye. It's Hank Green. I really like his stuff on Crash Course. And I also picked up a couple books for my daughter, but this one I picked up for the Harry Potter unit. I'm working on the 6th Harry Potter unit right now. I know that the Hogwarts course is going to be potions, and I saw this book, The Wizard's Workshop, a science activity book. And it's by Master Wizard Creek E. Bones and apprentice Jennifer K. Clark. So, this I thought was really cool, except I have one issue with this book. And that is that it's science experiments, but portrayed as magic. My only issue is that it doesn't explain the science behind each thing. So you do this cool experiment, but you don't know why it's working. And that just drives me crazy. I want an explanation as to why the thing works that way. So I don't know if this is going to make it into the unit, but I bought it. And I do think it's a neat book. I just wish that they had added that one little thing, you know, just a blurb as to why this works. I don't know. I wish that was a thing that happened. But I also picked up a graphic novel for my daughter, and this is Are We There Yet? A story by Dan Santat. And this caught my eye. I was researching graphic novels for the twins, for our high school unit, and I saw this, and I thought, my daughter would love this. It's so cute. It's got dinosaurs in it. It's about a family road trip and crazy things that happen. And I just thought it sounded really cute. I also picked up another book for her. This is actually going to probably be in our chemistry unit. We're getting ready to start, so you'll see me talk about this again there, so I won't go into detail. But that is Notable Notebooks, Scientists and Their Writing by Jessica Fries Gaither. I heard about this from a friend of mine on her Facebook page. She was talking about it, and I just thought it sounded really interesting and up our alley. And I'm a sucker for a gorgeous picture book, especially when it ties into what we're studying. So, I'll talk more about this later. So the rest of the books that I've got, I acquired for free, or for very, very cheap. We have our town's recycling center has an area where you can leave books, and you can take them for free, you can leave your own stuff, so that it's like a free table, basically. And people leave some great stuff there. And I'm always like, why would you get rid of that? So this is one of those moments where I was like, who would get rid of this? Like, what's wrong with you? So this is Jane Austen's 7 novels, and this is just so pretty. This book is gorgeous. It's huge, but it's beautiful, and I adore it. It makes me so happy to look at it. It's just so pretty. I love Jane Austen. I already own several of her novels, but I couldn't, like, how could I not grab this? It was free. It was free. Somebody was throwing this away. My husband is the one that picked this up for me, and he's over here like, oh, hello. So yes, he grabbed this, but again, who throws this away? Like, I just don't understand people sometimes. I also, some of these were free, some of these were things that we had bought ages and ages ago that I forgot we bought, and they were hidden in a box, and I was like, this is one of those things. This is Stephen King's Revival. This is a novel that I did not previously own, but we have been collecting it for inventory for our future store. We're planning on having a bookstore down the road when we have the means and the time, which will happen soon-ish, but not soon enough. It's been my dream for forever to have a bookstore. So this was in our pile of acquired books. Most of them we get at the town recycling center because they are free. But every now and then my husband will order some really, really cheap books online. And this was in a box that he had bought way back, like probably months ago. And I just didn't look through it. And I was like, I don't own this book. So now I have a copy. Also, I went to a library book sale with my daughter. She goes to school. Her campus is right beside the city library, so she can like just walk back and forth to the library whenever she wants. I'm super jealous. That's so lucky. It's a huge old library too. It's gorgeous. But they had a sale where you could fill a bag for $5. I was like, huh, yes, please. I can fill many a bag for $5 each. I was really calm. I was good. It was chaotic though. It was like a madhouse. I've never seen it like that before because our library is tiny, so we don't get that many people. Even the other city library we go to isn't that crazy during a book sale. I've never seen anything like what I saw at this library sale. It was like a madhouse. People were like diving in and out, reaching around. It was crazy. So anyway, I didn't get as many things as I probably would have had there been less people. But I did get a bunch of stuff to go in our story inventory, but then I also got some stuff that I just really wanted. So, in my bag, I stuffed this book, Guy Delisle's Pyongyang, A Journey in North Korea. I'd actually had this in my Amazon shopping cart for weeks. I kept saying I was going to get it, but it was a little bit expensive, and I didn't really need it. But I kind of wanted to read it, so I kept putting off getting it. And then I saw it at the sale. I was like, are you serious right now? So I got this for super cheap because it was in a huge bag of books that I paid $5 for. So excited to have this. It's a graphic novel about his experiences in North Korea. They had a Terry Pratchett book, so I had to buy it. I have no idea what this is. This is a Johnny Maxwell trilogy, and this is Johnny and the Dead. And I picked up Behind the Mask, The Life of Queen Elizabeth by Jane Resch Thomas. I love all things Tudor, and this looks like a really nice biography about Elizabeth and her life, and I couldn't pass it up. I also got Finn by John Clinch. I actually owned this as an ebook, and I haven't read it yet. This is the Huck Finn story as told by Huck's father, and I don't think that it's super sympathetic towards him, because I don't think I'd like that, but I've heard that it's just his view of things, and you get to see like his backstory and how he got to where he was when we see him in The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And so yeah, I really want to read it. It sounds dark, and I love getting a backstory on a character I don't know a lot about, but that has a large or a big effect on the story overall. So I'm looking forward to this. And the last book I have here is The Golden Horde, Myths and Legends of the World by Geraldine McCalgrian. I love her books. They seem to almost all be out of print. It's hard to find anything anymore by her, but this is a gorgeously illustrated book of mythology for children, and we're big fans of that, so I'm excited to have this in our collection. And the last couple of books I got were from our town recycling center. This one is Fatal Majesty, a novel of Mary Queen of Scots by Ray Tannehill, and again, this is Tudor fiction. I can't pass it up. And I want to say I read that this is actually more historic than historical fiction, so I like when my historical fiction is accurate. True Stories of the First World War by Paul Dowswell, and this is just first-hand accounts of things that happened during World War I. And this is put out by Scholastic. I have The Riddle of the Rosetta Stone, The Key to Ancient Egypt by James Cross Giblin, which I actually thought we already had this, but apparently not. This is just the accounting of how they discovered and figured out the code for the Rosetta Stone, and it's an interesting story overall. And I also picked this up, I actually picked this up for my daughter, but I haven't gotten around to giving it to her yet. And that is The Norton Field Guide to Writing by Richard Bullock. And it's a book about writing and everything you'd want to know about the basics of good writing. And I thought she could use this as a reference, but I haven't gotten around to giving it to her yet. So Sarah, if you're watching, this is for you. I also have The Last Boleyn, a novel by Karen Harper. Again, Tudor fiction. If I see it, I have to own it. I have no idea if this is any good. And this is about Is this about Mary, I think? Yeah, so this is a story about Mary Boleyn and what happened to her family from her perspective. So I don't think it's exactly the same as the other Boleyn girl, but I think it'll be the same basic story overall. I mean, you can only tell it so many ways. And I also have The Rose Without a Thorn by Jean Plady, and I have no idea who this is about. Oh, this is about Katherine Howard. Ooh, I honestly did not realize that. So this is about, she has a series about the wives of Henry VIII, and this one's about Katherine Howard, who I feel is the most just sad, tragic tale of all his wives. She, to me, is the saddest story because Katherine Howard was only like 15 when she was swept up in a marriage with Henry VIII, who at that time was like 45 or 46, and he was pretty rough at that point in his life. Like, he was not in good shape. He was definitely ill, and he was really scary at that time. And she was 15 and didn't know any better and ended up having an affair, and oh, just so sad. I'm excited to read this now. Picked up Marie Antoinette by Antonia Fraser. I actually own a few of her books, I believe. This one, though, is not historical fiction. This is a biography she wrote about Marie Antoinette, and I find her such a compelling character in history. She was not the villain that she was portrayed as, and I'm looking forward to picking this up at some point and reading it and learning more about her, because I read quite a bit while I was working on level 11, and I was fascinated by her and I wanted more. So I have this book that I got. I'm excited to pick it up. And I also had this picture book that I got for my youngest, and it's How Do Dinosaurs Say Merry Christmas? And it's by Jane Yolen. We love Jane Yolen. I love her book so much, and this is just a cute Christmas book with dinosaurs. So yeah, how could I pass that up? And the last thing I want to show you is not a book specifically, but bookmarks. My husband surprised me with these bookmarks, and they are so pretty. I love them. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this, but I couldn't not show you. These are, the artist is Brady Stower Art, and I'm going to link that below for you guys in the description box, so if you want to check out his stuff, please do. These are beautiful. And I'm going to try to get close so you can see. So these are the bookmarks. I have Stephen King. I have H.P. Lovecraft. And Edgar Allan Poe. And they're just so pretty to look at. Like, I love bookmarks anyway. I love having them because I use them all the time. And I love these. They're so nice. So I have 2 sets of them. I'm very excited to have those. So thank you, Rob, for these bookmarks. Okay, I don't know how many things this was, but it was a lot. I'm going to see if I can stack them. I don't know. I'm going to have to get my husband to come over here and help me because I'm going to hurt myself if I try to do this alone. Number. I'm so psyched right now that it's an even number. Hi everybody. I'm like hiding. Hi. So yeah, that's a lot of books. I don't know where these are going. I'm gonna have to do some rearranging to make this all fit somewhere. So I bought a lot of books this month. Did you get anything new? I'd love to hear about it down below in the comments. Please share and tell me all about the cool books you acquired in the month of September. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Happy reading! Bye!